So right now, like in the actual story, like once we come back to Elbaf, current time, as the Straw Hats are at Elbaf, it seems like the Blackbeard pirates are like attacking Mary Geoise. I know that's crazy because it hasn't been stated in the story yet, but it's heavily implied. When Emu takes over Gunko, like shortly before we go into the long flashback, they say that the Holy Land is a sea of fire right now and that they need greater numbers. And we thought maybe, oh, that's like the revolutionaries attacking them again. But it's like, well, they already attacked them. Are they coming back for seconds? Probably not. And considering that we're coming off of God Valley's flashback with, you know, the whole rocks revelation and all that stuff, I think it would make sense that Blackbeard is attacking Mary Geoise. Now, maybe not Blackbeard directly himself, but the Blackbeard pirates. Now, as to why they're attacking them, well, I mean, it makes sense. They've been setting this up the whole time, right? And I guess this explains why the Holy Knights are suddenly coming to Elbaf now, trying to recruit Loki to the Holy Knights, trying to get the Elbaf warriors to make a makeshift army. But other than that, here's a fun thing to think about. And I want to know your thoughts on this. What if the real big spark for this was them having Garp? Because we saw that whole thing with Garp fighting Aokiji. We thought he killed him, but he didn't. I mean, we didn't think that he killed him. Oda tried to make us think that he died, but they just have him captive now. But they also have Pudding, Big Mom's daughter, who has the devil fruit that can like take memories and stuff. What if they had her take Garp's memories of God Valley out, and then they looked at what happened and they were like, oh crap, we're upset now. What do you think about it?
I mean, you know, ever since the Blackbeard pirates took Pudding, that was a prominent theory. Just saying, yeah, Pudding's going to extract somebody's memories, or Pudding's going to read the poneglyphs, because outside of that, there's no reason to get Pudding. So I do think that Blackbeard could do both. Yeah, if she awakens the third eye, we'll see what that looks like. She can read the poneglyphs for Blackbeard. But I also think that since they have Garp there, why not see what happened? I mean, Blackbeard should obviously know that, you know, Garp was there for his father's demise. Whether he knows about God Valley entirely or not, he knows that Garp is the hero of God Valley. So yeah, extract the memories, see what's happening. And I don't think Blackbeard's the type of guy that would be impulsive, like, oh, they killed my dad, let's go up there. I think he would do it just for strategies. He'd be like, okay, like this is how the Gorsei functions, this is what we're fighting. That reversey thing seems pretty bad, blah, blah, blah. I think that is the route Blackbeard would take. And as far as like Blackbeard being the one up at the Holy Land, I like it, mainly because that would like quickly parallel the whole, oh, I'll be back line when Rock said that to Emu in the flower room. I could just already imagine Blackbeard doing that to Emu and saying like, hey, I am back. I told you I'd be here again. And, you know, even though it's not Rock's, it's like, oh, it's his son. So, you know, it kind of works.
So Rox also raided Mary Geoise back in the day. That's when he met Harold.
Yeah.
But another thing that Rox did when he was there, straight up kill a freaking admiral.
Is he gonna kill an admiral? Is that what you're asking me?
I think Blackbeard is gonna follow in his footsteps and straight up kill an admiral at Mary Geoise? No.
No, I think we're at that point in the story where like Oda wouldn't want to kill a character like that. I can't imagine. Like I'm thinking about the admirals right now, right? We have Akainu, Kizaru, Green Bull, Fujitora, Kuzan if you want to include him. And out of all of them, if I had to kill one, I think it would be Kuzan. Just because he seems like such a good guy, or like, yo, like he's taking the Gin from Bleach role. Or like he might betray Blackbeard eventually, but Blackbeard's like, oh, I saw this coming already, Kuzan. And then he stabs him or something. Like, I just can't imagine the admirals generally dying at this point in the story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they are
too
either.
low.
I mean, they could have a fake out death. Oda does that all the time. I mean, if it's not Kuzan, I think it could have been Kizaru. That would have been really interesting since, you know, he's coming off of that big character arc from Egghead. But I do think they're all going to live because we talked about this a couple of years ago, actually, with Brago and King of Lightning, about how I'm pretty sure we're going to see the three original admirals, Kuzan, Kizaru, and Akainu, like, team up with Luffy. Like that's, I think we're gonna get at least one panel or page of that. So they can't die before that happens. But we could get an admiral fake out death because I do think that Blackbeard knows that Kuzan isn't like on his side. Like he's not that stupid. Like he has to know there's something up.
If he was surprised though, that'd be so funny. He's like, Kuzan, no, I trusted you. We're friends.
I mean, that could happen too, but I don't think so.
It would be funny though.
No, it would be hilarious if he's genuinely shocked by that. But other than that, they do have some other aces up their sleeve. Because we were talking about how they have Pudding, and, you know, on the surface, it just seems like they're going to use her to read the poneglyphs, because without her, they don't have a way of reading them. And she hasn't even awakened her third eye yet, so we're still waiting on that. Maybe a cover page will tell us that as well. But another thing that they have is Katarina Devon touching Saturn back on Egghead. And now that Saturn's dead, there's some things you can do with that. Now, we don't know if they ever made it public that Saturn has died and that Garling has taken his place. As far as I know, we don't have any updates on if the public knows about that or anything. I don't think Big News Morgan made any reports about that. So we thought, oh, they're just going to impersonate Saturn with her mythical Zhoniin Ninetales fruit ability and then, I don't know, make commands or something like that. But what if there's a subversion to that, the way with Pudding reading Garp's memories? What if instead of just using him to make orders or impersonating him, what if they use his body to like travel through the abyss pentagram? Because, you know, it was stated by, I think, Killingham or Summers in Elbaf recently, where they were like, only people with the mark can pass through those abyss pentagrams, as they call it in the Viz. I go by the Viz because it's just easier. I don't know how that would work, because does it like create a literal facsimile of the tattoo that they get? Because there's some kind of supernatural ability implanted into the tattoo. It's not just like inked on there and then it just works. I'm assuming it doesn't seem that way. There's some kind of, especially with what we saw of Harold in the recent chapter, it seems like there's some magic going on there. So unless the devil fruit like completely 100% replicates you, even with the magic circle mark on you, which I think is a possibility for sure, that would be a really interesting way for them to utilize Saturn, because that could be how they're at Mary Geoise right now. They just become Saturn, and then they have the ability to, I don't know, create the mark or go through the pentagram or something, and then they're just going back and forth like that. Even if you disagree with that, which is fine, because I'm not even fully on board with that, what do you just think Katarina Devon copying Saturn is going to lead to?
That's a really tough one, because I don't even know. It's like you said, like, if they made Saturn's death public, it's useless. Like, you can't go to a country and, you know, cosplay Saturn. Nobody's gonna believe it. The Gorosei, obviously, they're gonna see Saturn. They're like, okay, he's dead. We know this already. And then even as far as like the Shallow Sea contract, because you get your powers from Emu, I doubt that if Devon was able to transform into Saturn, she'd be able to use it. Like, surely Emu's like, wait a minute, why is there like my power over there with the Blackbeard pirates? Like, I can sense my energy. Maybe I cut that off, or maybe, you know, I sever the contract. I just can't see what the benefits would be. And people have said seraphims, like, oh, like, you know, Saturn can control the seraphims. I'm like, okay, I agree with that. But if that was their goal, why not get them while at Egghead? Like why not just two birds with one stone? Maybe they want to wait for when the Gorosei aren't there, but it's like, I mean, they were in and out, man. Like, they could just teleport. So that's so tough for me to like decide. I think this is one of the few things where I'm just like actually stumped. I'm like a chicken in the middle of the road. I'm like, I don't know where to go with this one, but it's got to be useful though.
No, I mean, it's super useful. It is a toolbox of options there. But I forgot about the controlling the seraphims option. That's really interesting too. That's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, but like, we're at that point in time where it's like the seraphim, they're strong, but I almost feel like they're gonna be strong fodder opponents. Like, oh, there's these really strong guys in the final war. We need somebody to occupy them. Go, seraphim! Stall them out for like 30 chapters. That's what they feel like to me. I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we need somebody for the Grand Fleet to fight.
Yeah, Grand Fleet, or like maybe the warlords come in and they're like, oh, who do the warlords fight? Well, let me tell you, they fight the warlords.
There you go. Warlords v. warlords. Okay, I like that. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. What do you think's going on with Katarina Devon copying Saturn? Do you think the Blackbeard pirates are at Mary Geoise right now? And anything else, let me know. And if you liked it, please give it a like. Check out Sai's channel, subscribe to him. Link will be in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, guys.